Hi, Carrie. This is Cliff from Shelf Genie. I just wanted to talk to you about what we could possibly do in your upstairs design. And I wanted to really talk to you in person about this, but I wanted you to kind of see what could be done. And we're talking this project would be probably under $5,000 to do. And we'd be only using the highest end products. And then, of course, you could substantially change the order. Because that under $5,000 includes like a 10% discount, which is a huge discount for free installation that I talked to you about, on the appointment the other day. But I would say, not doing some of these things can really change the price of the pullout. For instance, not getting these uppers, not getting this third pull out next to the stove. Those are things that you can do to kind of get the price under control. I know you were concerned that you probably aren't going to really be able to get in the right price category. Now, I'm more than happy to send you all of the final paperwork, but I want to nail down from you what exactly you want. So let's start. I'm going to show you the choices that I looked at in your upstairs kitchen. And then we can also talk about the downstairs kitchen, but the stuff, if we did everything we talked about in the downstairs, it'd probably be about the same as the upstairs. That's how much a kitchen usually costs of your size. You have a bigger kitchen, so you're not going to be in the average. You're going to be an above average type of pull-out kitchen. Now, you already have a lot of drawers, which are pull-outs. We're just trying to improve the cabinets that you have, right? So I wanted to show you first up here the basically the dividers. We talked about maybe moving these dividers from being stored horizontally to be stored vertically, and then you'd find some new space, whether it's the basement or I don't know if you have a storage area downstairs. You could probably keep it in the back somewhere. I don't know how big your basement is. I know it was mostly living area in the downstairs, but you could think about that. So that's what we were doing there. Now, if you didn't want to give up that space for dividers, we could also kind of come over here and look in the island to add those dividers in a pull-out a tray bin is what we call this, with dividers on the bottom, and then you still have room for another pull-out above it. Now, like I said, these extra things are adding to the overall cost of your project, but it's still under $5,000. You could do all of these things and be right in the ballpark. So if you start removing things, right, you're going down by a few $100s by removing each pull-out. Now, I can give you the exact quote as soon as I know what it is you really want to do and pin that down. So because it's hard to, I'd have to give you multiple sheets, because the way we estimate these projects is we basically put all of the things you're getting into a project, right? So it's priced out that way. So there's not like a line item for every little thing, because it's a lot of it's the size and all that stuff is calculated in the background. It's just to make it easier for our sales designers, so they don't get caught into the details. They get the project done at an overall price that can be talked about. So the way you kind of lower the price of your investment here is just by not doing certain things. We're already giving you a free installation, so we can talk about that. But I'm going to give you a call later today, and we're going to talk about this. And you're going to be able to watch this video, obviously, online, because you already have it and seen it. But that's why I provide that, is so it makes it easy. So the last two things to talk about is the utility bin. This is a solid maple utility bin. All of the pullouts that we're talking about are solid maple and have those soft closing undermounted rails, right? So it's the designer series. So we did a pullout there, or a drawer insert that's custom there, and you can even specify how big you want the space between the dividers and that sort of thing. So. And last, I'm going to talk to you about the silverware tray. So that looks like here. Oh, is it going to open all the way? There it is. Yeah, I don't know. The computer was bogging down. So you can see this is a nice place for your knives, forks, spoons. All your silverware items would be nice to have that there. So that's what we did. We also looked at the pots and pans on the side, and whether or not, let's go back, whether or not you would have two or just one additional pull-out in your space. And we did that on both sides. So like if you changed this, if you took those two out, your order probably would be reduced by about $800, or close to it. I don't have the exact dimensions, so if I did, these prices I'm throwing out are an overestimate of the size because I didn't take any measurements while I was there. So it's sure to go down, and that's exactly what I want to do. I don't want to come to you and say, oh, it's going to be more money. It's obviously going to be less money after I've actually measured all of the cabinets. Okay, so that's what we talked about, or that's what I think the design would look like here. Meaning, let's recap. The dividers up top here, and then the additional pullouts on the next to the stove that you didn't get originally, and then thirdly the kitchen island, or let's look at that one. It's a little further back, and we looked at the tray bin and an additional pullout above it. So this is all there's 3 pullouts that you might not actually get out of this order that I'm saying is going to be around like the mark of 5. So you could probably, by eliminating those 3 pullouts, you could probably reduce your order for these top end pullouts, being designer light, undermounted rails, a lifetime warranty, all those things. You could probably change the order and take probably at least $1,200 out of the order. Of course, your discount goes down as well. There is delivery and taxes that go into the price of this. That's about 12%, you can figure, because we have to ship these from Arizona. So shipping, on a 18-wheeler, to come here, it's probably a pallet or so of material for this size order. So it's going to cost a few $100s to ship it across. Obviously, I'm not making money on deliveries, so basically I have to pass that on to the consumer. So that's what we kind of talked about, and then let me say I did go downstairs into the downstairs kitchen, and we looked at potentially adding this large pullouts next to I think there was a dishwasher to the right. So a pull out on the bottom and pull out on the top. A tall one on the bottom just to make it easier to reach. These change the prices, depending on the height, but it's only by about $30. So we always tell our clients, give them what they want, and if they want, if they think that they can change the options and you're going to save a whole lot amount of money. Not really, because you're only changing, a little bit of material. So anyway, and then the other thing I wanted to show you is at 12, looking at that corner, what I was thinking is we could put those bottles of liquor underneath here at 110, and then put a glide around solution in that corner. I'm sorry, I gotta zoom back into it. Sorry. So, and then what that glide around does, it looks like this. Basically, you have storage on both sides, and it rotates in the opening, and then it also has 4 pull-outs that obviously come out one at a time. But it's just a great place to store little things in this area for entertaining at a bar. I mean, you think about all the little things, like if you're making your if you're a hostess or bartender, you're making little drinks, and you think about the little straws and things, like all the things that could go into hosting a cocktail party. You have a lot of great storage here. The mixing stuff. I don't know what they call those, shakers and things like that for martinis and that sort of thing. So that is kind of what I was thinking there. And then over on the other end, what we did, let's see, is if you added a pantry, and I think I told you the other day, like if you did a pantry like this, that's typically about $2,500 to do that thing in designer light. Plus or minus, maybe with a discount it'd be a little less, but that's what you'd be looking at, right? So this downstairs area, we could also look at doing pull outs above microwaves. I know upstairs that's not going to work because you have that vent going up through the ceiling, but like stuff here above a refrigerator, maybe. That way you can get like you mentioned, having cookbooks and things like that on a storage area. So that's kind of what it would look like. All different size pull-outs. We talk about what works best for your stuff. If you wanted to do some storage down here in the basement. So anyway. So that's kind of what we're talking about. Having the slope backs to make sure stuff doesn't fall into the back of the cabinet. So anyway, that's pretty much it that I was talking about. Of course, we also had your closet and what could possibly be done in your laundry room closet. We could do something like this in the laundry room closet. Of course, you had some vertical items, like you had an iron board, you had a vacuum cleaner, that sort of thing, and it looks like you could hang clothes in that cabinet that you have today. Of course, you'd have to displace all of that, so that's what we did. Anyway, thanks for having me out. I just wanted to talk to you about the design for a few minutes, and basically type in an email like the numbers that you want. When you think about like if you wanted the downstairs done, if you want me to combine that in the order, if you like the idea of having the glide around there, I could add that into the order. But I just need to know what. I just to save time, and I got a busy day ahead of me, so I'm just trying to squeeze this, in. But all of this stuff, is totally possible if you just feedback what line items you want. Like, so for instance, this 101, like I want 101, I want 102 and 104, but not 103 and 105, right? Just specify that in the email, and then I'll give you a very accurate quote. It'll be like, and the price won't change. And then basically I also need to come out and measure and you'll probably save money after that too, because I've overestimated the size of your things. And if you think about it, it kind of adds up. If we're talking $30 to $40 per pull out because the size changed, that could save money in the order. So I just wanted to educate you on how we, sum everything up, and we can go from there. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.